Hey guys, I used qsil 216 on the solar panel, and it was in bad shape. There's a lot of cracks everywhere. Uh, Actually had some shipping damage for two panels. You can still see the cracks. This is after using the qsil 216, and don't do what I did here. Um, there's a very important process to mixing this stuff. Um, I had actually took the qsil 216, mixed it in an old container that had kerosene K1 in it, and come to find out, qsil has issues with cure if it actually comes into contact with sulfur. And there's such a small amount of sulfur in kerosene. It's like 0.04%. But I honestly believe that the sulfur in the plastic container, which didn't have any remnants of kerosene in it, it reacted with that sulfur. And this is after 4 days of curing, and the top layer, I've already kind of scraped off the top layer. The qsil did manage to, fill in the cracks. However, that top layer should have dried, and it never did. And this is a lot of work trying to scrape up the layer that did not cure. And I really wonder if the layer that's in the cracks actually cured or not. But I want to try to save you guys some time. So the proper way to do the mixing of this qsil 216 is to put it in a new container for sure, with no other, you don't want to reuse anything, and you want all your utensils to spread it and everything to be absolutely clean and dry of any kind of chemicals. There's all kinds of things. If you look up to see what can actually interfere with the curing process of silicone, and it's platinum cure silicone. You could find it easily online. But without going into further detail about the interactions, the mixing process is very important. That you mix it for about 5 minutes. Just give it a good stir for 5 minutes, and then let it rest. And then another 5 minutes, stir it again. I actually bought 2 kits, put them all into one of the containers that the qsil came in, and mixed it in that. I even shook it, but I also created a vacuum to get rid of air bubbles. So it didn't matter if I was introducing air bubbles into the mix. And then after that second time, I would let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then one last time, stir, and stir some more. When you do that, you actually will not have this this happen to where it didn't cure on you. And you'll actually get something more like this, which this is a very bad panel, obviously. There's just certain things that there's just too much air in these cracks. I couldn't get the material down in between those cracks to get the air out. I tried my hardest. These are just really, really bad. But you could see that this actually cured A-okay. I don't have any wetness on my finger after rubbing it. It is solid, to the touch, and it got this solid after about maybe 12 hours. So, and they tell you that the cure time is 24 to 48 hours, but this one cured properly. And the way it cured properly was making sure my containers were clean and that my utensils for, like my paintbrush, I used a foam brush for it. It was absolutely new, had no chemicals or paint or anything from using it before. So I highly recommend to use new paintbrushes, new foam brush, whatever that you're going to use to spread it. And then also make sure the container that you're mixing in is absolutely clean and never been used before, just to avoid any kind of cure issues. And then secondly, making sure it is thoroughly mixed. It is so easy not to thoroughly mix the stuff. It's about the consistency of a warm honey. So it is very... it's very thick stuff, and it's easy not to mix properly and get a good mix between the catalyst and the resin. So if you do that, if you do, as I said, make sure to mix it over and over and over again, giving it resting time, you'll not have a problem. It'll develop like this. The other thing to factor in is temperature. I'm in Texas. Temperature was about 74 degrees in here the whole time. You want to be above, I believe the manufacturer's instructions say you want to be above 70 degrees or 68 degrees. So you don't want to go below 68 for the cure process. And this takes a good while for it to cure. The manufacturer says 4 hours is your working time. If you have less temperature, or if you're closer to 70, you're going to slow down the cure process. So you may have closer to 6 hours. But it's important to have good temperature, good mixing. That's a huge deal. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. They all talk about how it actually took a while for it to cure. It really makes me wonder if it ever really did cure for those folks. And if this doesn't cure, all it's going to do is stay wet, and you're just going to have a ton of dust that's going to settle into that to that mixture. So I want to try to save you some time, save you some work. Just know mixing is crucial with the qsil, and also that it's not interacting with any other chemicals. So you'll be fine. You keep new paintbrushes, foam brush, everything. You'll be just fine, and you'll be happy with the results. The stuff's expensive, so I want to save you guys some time and hopefully some money from having to redo a panel that you were trying to fix. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Hope that you got something useful out of this. Sorry for the length, but if you follow my instructions, I think you're going to be just fine on the cure, and you'll be up and running with that solar panel in probably 24 hours or less. All right, take care, guys.